supposed to be Nick next, but he seems to have gone walkabout. Where is he?
G'day! If you're wondering why I've decided to hide out in the jungle, it's actually rather simple. I've gone back to the outback to escape from a world that's gone bonkers. Insane, crazy, nuttier than a pistachio harvest. In the space of a few days, students at Somerville College, Oxford, the college Margaret Thatcher attended, voted to ban the Union flag from being flown on the Queen's birthday because it's, quotes, a symbol of colonialism. Animal rights campaigners asked the residents of the sleepy Dorset village of Wool to change its name to Vegan Wool, as it's kinder to sheep. A potato crisp company has pulled the plug on its Welsh rarebit flavour snack as a picture of a miner on the packet offended some Welsh people. And Chinese social media banned an advert for Dolce Gabbana because it showed a Chinese girl trying to eat spaghetti and pizza with chopsticks. You with me now? Taking offence where there is none, or virtue signalling, has become a global obsession. What happens when something really offensive happens? We're losing all sense of perspective. So join me and declare, I'm not a celebrity, but get me out of here!
Thank you for that, Nick. I think it appropriately set the tone as to how seriously we should take your argument here.
High level.
Which, yes, you know, I love you standing there in the jungle saying how offended you are that people are getting offended. It's, it's a brilliant and rich irony.
Right.
You know, listen, OK, let's take the wool thing.
Yeah.
The wool thing. It's Peter. Has everyone around this table heard of Peter?
Isn't it Peter?
I think you pronounce it Peter.
Oh, really?
The reason that we've all heard of Peter is because they are notorious for gimmicks to grab our attention.
Yeah.
Naomi Campbell wearing a dead
You just gave them attention.
You have just helped their marketing strategy. That's exactly why they did this. They didn't seriously expect a village. And it's not even named wool after sheep's wool. It's named wool after something else.
You think they might have Googled that, Peter, wouldn't you?
But what they're very successful, what they're very successful at is now we all know that there are people who are worried about the humanity of the wool industry, which I personally wasn't that aware of before. So it's a very effective.
Before we get too stuck into the wool, the broader point is, if we allow ourselves to take offence over a packet of crisps, an advert for a fashion company, or the name of a town, Karen, let's bring you in, when something truly, just for the purpose of debate, if I was to go and urinate on a war memorial or something like that, when something is truly, genuinely offensive, where are we left to go? That is the reality.
What's truly offensive and what's not, though.
I do.
And
but Karen...
So another example that you mentioned was at Somerville College at Oxford.
Yes.
Now, this is the college that Margaret Thatcher attended, Indira Gandhi attended. I've had an association with that college. And, you know, there were members of the college students' union who said that the Union Jack should not be flown at the college because it's a symbol of colonialism. I mean, that is ridiculous. And the college said, we fly the Union Jack 4 times a year on special occasions, or a member of the royal family visits the college, and we will continue to fly the Union Jack. This is nonsense.
So how do you and I make our living, by talking? And you know the minefield. The minefield now, because I think there are professional listeners who want us to say the slightest mistake. So how do we start to sieve what is really offensive? Well, that's what I'm driving at.
Indeed, and this is where I say offence is taken, not given, right? And it's usually the case that actually the person who is offended is looking for something to be offended by. But to take Alpha's point, it is a wonderful irony that you are also taking offence at people taking offence, and I don't see a way around
It's not a coincidence. You know, this is how we achieve progress, right? It's not perfect. Somerville used to be a women's college. There was a time when women were protesting that colleges at Oxford and other universities should be integrated between the genders. It was regarded as a ridiculous, insane argument that would never have any traction. People lobby for things, they spark debate. That is part of being a democracy. It's a marketplace of ideas. And actually, it's the free speech people who are the quick to shut down people like me are the first to get offended.
Carol.
OK. Let's look at how this offence, this kind of political correctness of offence started. It started back in the 60s and 70s as a much-needed response to racism and sexism. We needed it. And had it just stuck to that, to protecting the groups it was actually set, it would have been fine.
Do you think people at the time agreed that we needed it?
Can I just finish?
This exact discussion.
Can I just finish halfway? But these days, I think Ricky Gervais summed it up. He said, I see offence as the collateral damage of free speech, which is actually the truth. You can't modify justify what you think or what you feel in case it might offend someone somewhere. And I think the main point of all this is people like you, Waffa, don't take into account anymore whether people mean to offend, because that's the whole point. If you mean to offend, if you don't, you can't. But if people don't mean, they can still have careers damaged, lives ruined, everything wrecked, because they said something that you have decided is wrong, or that someone else has decided.
When a Chris company starts apologising for a caricature on the cover of their Chris packet,
mind you,
you've gone a bit too far, right?
You know, Subhana, that what had on that Chris packet that should have been done on the basis it was too long and you would have been bored to death by the time it got to the end.
There's another aspect to all this is with humour. And I think that this country has always had the most wonderful reputation of being able to laugh at ourselves and not to take it seriously, but as good humour.
Yes.
And then where do you draw the line when there's a complete lack of any humour at all because you're scared of offending people?
It's partly about humour, but it's really about power, you know. And the groups that you now think are ridiculous for trying to protect themselves from offensive language or things that they feel are diminishing them are groups that understand what it's like to experience oppression. And I'm not just talking about race. I'm talking about the Welsh. People in Wales.
Oh no, my God!
Feel that there are stereotypical ideas about them that people are profiting from. And
let's take a look at the packet for those
those
who've not seen the packet.
And I'm not Welsh, so I'm not speaking from personal experience, I relate to the struggle.
So here we go. And in a moment, I'll ask whether that panel. There we are.
Why is that offensive, guys?
Crisps, Welsh ribs.
What's so offensive about
a Welsh person who feels offended by it,
Welsh
rather
people
than you.
And now, here's the video. Imagine after this, for those who haven't seen the video, the Dolce Gabbana video, which is banned by Chinese social media, let's take a look at this.
一是香炸甜卷儿，欢迎收看 Dolce and Gabbana 喜快吃饭第2集。
It looks like that's meant to be
And she tries to eat various Italian dishes. Are you offended?
I'm not Chinese, and I don't know what it's like to experience stereotypical and prejudiced attitudes towards being Chinese. And Dolce & Gabbana did take this seriously, and this is what they said. We are very sorry for any distress caused by these unauthorised posts, comments and direct messages. We have nothing but respect for China and the people of China. You know what this is about? Having an open enough mind to understand there are people who've had an experience that is different to yours, who experience things you find harmless, that you find harmless.
I think they were traumatised by eating a pizza with chopsticks.
I think it's clear you don't have that
Over the course of this programme, we've had a Chris packet apologising, we've had a fashion brand apologising, we've had a college apologising. I mean, and the problem with this, of course, is not just comedy, but also actually thought police, in the sense that what with Asia Bibi's case for blasphemy, there are real-life consequences to how far we take this. People are being killed because they're being deemed heretical or blasphemous for offending the sentiments of a group. And the key point here with this, Afua, is that actually people don't all think the same. So there is no what does a Welsh person feel like. There is no what does a Chinese person feel like. That in itself could be offensive.
Listen to them. Don't shut them down.
No offence to either of you, but we must move on because that's almost it. But before we go, there's just time for this. Now, we on The Pledge are all about straight talking, and we salute those who say it like it is. This week, unfortunately, we lost someone who did that for almost a century. Baroness Trumpington was a land girl, a wartime code breaker at Bletchley Park, a councillor and a mayor. She worked for 2 prime ministers and served in the House of Lords, which she retired from last year. But above all, she was a woman with a sharp wit and a great sense of humour, and she was happy to break the rules.
Who started to look pretty old as well, as my noble friend, the Baroness, reminded me, I believe, claiming to be one of the only survivor, I think, in this house of those who gave great service.
I would like to know why, at the age of 90, I've had to sign a piece of paper in order to be on this show to say I wasn't pregnant.
It's Eric Pickles. He's a member of the cabinet. Have you ever heard of him?
Yes, I certainly have, but I didn't realise he was that large.
So this week, we're remembering Baroness Trumpington, the ultimate straight talker, who sadly passed away at the age of 96. Karen, one of your parliamentary colleagues.
I count myself lucky to have known Baroness Trumpington. And 2 quick stories. I congratulated Gordon Brown. I was the first person in Parliament to speak after he became Prime Minister, and as I walked out of the chamber, she ticked me off. How dare you congratulate Labour Prime Minister? And then after that, once I was sitting opposite her at lunch, there were only the 2 of us at the table, and I politely offered her some water. Water? never touch the stuff. And she had a large glass of wine in front of her.
Well,
she was formidable.
Farewell.
Great lady.
Farewell to a unique talent, and farewell from us. That's all for this week, and thank you for watching.